point is very simple. If there are modern humans that predate Lucy, then Lucy cannot be the ancestor of modern humans. Of course, this assuming that your dating methods are accurate. If modern humans predate Lucy, or Homo habilis, or Australopithecus, or any other supposed ancestor, then these organisms are not transitional forms. They do not explain the origin of modern humans because modern humans appeared before. You simply cannot predate your grandpa. This is common sense. Obviously, this is all assuming that dating methods are accurate. So, if you want to accept these fossils as transitional fossils, you have to join creationists and claim that dating methods are wrong.
Daniel has still not given any credible evidence that the current scientifically proposed lineage of humanity, which I presented earlier, is incorrect. And since he did not choose radioactive decay, also known as absolute dating, or the law of superposition, also known as relative dating, as a debate topic, then we are assuming that these dating methods are correct for the purpose of this debate. Let's see what he has to offer next.
Besides, this footprint is not a rare fossil. There are hundreds of human fossils and archaeological items in the incorrect order. For example, a 5 million year old modern human skull was found in California. So, why is there a 5 million year old human in California if humans were supposed to arrive to America 20,000 years ago? The sample was analyzed by J.D. Whitney, and the skull was found in California under the Paleocene in 1866.
For those of you not up on the discredited creationist field known as out-of-place artifacts, I will fill you in on the skull that was found in California and is known as the Calaveras skull. It was found by miners in 1866 who sold it to Whitney, who then brought it back to Harvard University to be studied. There it was analyzed by other scientists and proven to be modern by a fluorine test in 1879. More recent studies using radiocarbon dating proved that the skull was around 1,000 years old and matched the reports from the late 1800s that it and other artifacts had been stolen from a Native American burial ground. In the early 1900s, investigations led to the participants in the hoax admitting that they had planted and promulgated the skull as a hoax. As if this weren't enough, later studies on the skull found that the sediments still attached to the skull did not match in any way the sediments from the mine where it was supposedly found. Now that this claim has been discredited, let's see what else Daniel has to offer.
Why do we find these 65,000-year-old tools in Canada if 65,000 years ago there were not humans in Canada? These tools were found by Thomas E. Lee, an anthropologist in Canada in 1955.
The archaeological site at Shigewanda on Manitoulin Island in Lake Huron, Canada, where Thomas Lee uncovered the stone tools, has been determined in more recent studies by anthropologists and archaeologists, such as Patrick Julig and Peter Stork, to be only around 10,500 years old, and the artifacts match tools at other local sites that have been dated to be around 10,000 years old. The older incorrect dates were due to the artifacts being covered by reworked glacial till that had been moved by wave action and mudslides.
This man-made item is 33 million years old. Okay, so my point is that according to your dating methods, there are hundreds of modern humans that predate Lucy and all the other transitional forms. So my conclusion is that I don't know if the reconstructions are accurate. For example, I don't know if this is an accurate reconstruction of the Australopithecus afarensis. To be honest, I never seen Lucy's bones by myself, and even if I did, I don't know how to reconstruct an organism from a fossil. However, the supposed transitional forms are not in the order expected by evolution.
The mortar and pestle that Daniel is referring to was allegedly found by a J.H. Neal, who was the superintendent of the company doing the drilling under Table Mountain. In reading Mr. Neal's affidavit, one discovers that Neal also claimed to have found several obsidian spear points in the same spot. The spear points, along with Mr. Neal's changing story and ambiguity in his affidavit, confirm that this find is another hoax. The spear points being made out of obsidian were not only too fragile to be associated with the ancient gravel stream bed the artifacts were found in, but they matched spear points used by local Native American tribes and could be dated as recent by the fact that obsidian decays by a process known as hydration. Daniel's examples remind me of a saying inaccurately accredited to P.T. Barnum: "There's a sucker born every minute and two to take him." I also feel it necessary to remind the YouTube audience and Daniel that he chose a topic of, quote, transitional fossils, specifically evolution of humans, unquote, yet I've not seen or heard this topic addressed at all. Instead, Daniel's claimed to have a lack of knowledge in how fossils are reconstructed, has put forward out-of-place artifacts, which have nothing to do with transitional fossils and human evolution, and continuously makes the claim that, quote, we do not find the fossils in the correct order, unquote, but he never gives any evidence that the scientifically accepted hominid lineage, which I explained at the start of the video, is out of order in any way. This being the case, I will have to assert that Daniel has failed to support his position. I will now allow him to post another video on this topic and await his reply.